Hello everyone, welcome to Chess Master Strategy. Today's game was played on the 19th of September 2024. This is Chess Olympiad Round 8, Iran versus India. White side 18 years old Iranian Grandmaster Bardiya Daneshvar. Black side Indian Grandmaster War number 3, 21 years old Arjun Erigaisi. In this video, you will see that Arjun successfully blocked the opponent's pieces and movement, which was the key factor for him to have won the game. There are three critical points we need to observe. First, how Arjun took control and blocked the center. Second, how Arjun forced his opponent's queen stayed at the queen side while completed his kingside castling. Third, how Arjun successfully opened through the king side and finally won the game. Let's jump into the action. Knight f3, d5, g3, knight f6, bishop g2, c5, castle, e6, c4, and d4 is played. This is English opening Neo-Catalan defense, followed by d3, opening this diagonal for the bishop, knight c6, normal move, e3, and now black knight retreat to d7, so both knights are targeting e5 square, prepare for f-pawn advance. And another variation he could play is bishop gets to here, take, bishop g5, goes to h6. That's another variation. Let's get back to the original game. After knight d7, knight gets to a3 in the queen side. e5 is played. Now Arjun is now building up very strong and solid central pawn. Not a very usual move. Next move, knight h4, trying to open up this diagonal for the queen and for the bishop. Also try to push up this pawn with a supportive rook, targeting f7 square. Otherwise, he could also play another variation. After exchanging here, this king could be under exposure. Back to the actual game, knight h4, take, still targeting f7 and h7. In response, knight f6 played, protecting these two squares. Now knight get into b5. Little bit passive position because knight cannot get to here, or here. But possibly come using this route to get to here, but let's wait and see. Bishop gets to g4. Very critical square and very critical diagonal, also trying to kick the queen away. So white could play this one or bishop this one, but in actual game, queen is now moving to b3 squares. So why I said these squares very critical. Imagine if you retreat, imagine next move if you retreat to h5, what's going to happen? Let's see. Bishop can enter into here very easily, control this diagonal, and also rook, you can see f5 square is undefended. Once landed here, these two pieces can be under attack. So bishop has to station in here firmly. So next move for black to play is queen d7, protecting the knight. In case you attacking that one, I don't want to damage my pawn structure in here because you queen knight already in the queen side. So queen d7, very accurate response. And the next move for the white to play is knight gets to c7. Two possibility. He could do this one, and kick the bishop away, or otherwise he could block the center d5 because you can see pressure already on d3, undefended pawn at this stage. You might possibly ask one question: why can't I push my pawn to here? Well, the answer is once the pawn pushed to here, this square become undefended because knight can get to here. If you want to go to knight here and here, this knight, white knight can be kicked off by this knight. That's going to be an issue. And the pawn, you can see, is undefended because you cannot move the rook because of this diagonal, very critical diagonal. So very accurate response by white side to play, which is knight c3. And now rook is to d8, putting pressure on d3. White has no option but to move the knight to d5. You might think about castling long, but the problem is your opponent's queen already in the queen side along with the knight, and you're actually benefiting for your opponents. You are not blocking your opponent's queen. So the best move, which is actual game played as rook d8. Now knight gets to the center. Think about it. Can you use this knight to take this knight? Let's see. If I use this one to take, I'll take that one back. Knight has to retreat. Possibly I can move this pawn, counter attack, take. What are you gonna do? So if you use a queen to take, I'll take that one. King has lost his castling privilege. Or otherwise, knight has to retreat to here. Not a very good position for the black side. So in this position, Arjun calmly moved his bishop to e3. First, he can do short castle. Second, he protect this knight. Once he take this knight, I don't need to damage my pawn in here in the king side. And third, I can potentially attacking this knight. I will tell you why later. And next move can be possibly to land the knight in here to kick this knight away. So in response, bishop d2 is played. Try to control b4 castle for now, and rook is to e1. Now bishop retreat to e6. See, still controlling this diagonal. Let's do a count. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 attackers for the knight, and you have 1 and 2 defenders. Not enough. In response, e4 is played. But the downside for this move is knight can jump into the center, which is actual game played. Knight d4, kicking the queen away. If you're moving back to d1, the problem is I can push my bishop to here, still blocking you. For example, if you get to here, I get to here, knight gets to here, but still blocking. In the actual game, he moved the queen to c3. Now, knight finally takes the knight, and cd is played. You can also use ed, but same result. Now, don't be rushed to take this knight, because if you do that one, I'll take, you have 1, 2, 3 under attack. So in actual game, bishop move to g4 slowly. The best response for here is knight gets to here. If I take that one, you take that one back. You eliminate the threat and opening up the king side. White side is now better off. But in the actual game, which is natural response, bishop e3 is played because of this terrible central knight, and possibly knight can land it to here. And bishop take that one, g8 is played. Now, total damage for the king side pawn for the white side. And the next move, very accurate. f5, try to push the f5 pawn forward. What about if you move the knight to here, trying to make kind of fork? I take this one, you take this one back, rook gets to f2, bishop d1, and queen can get to the center. You're no longer blocking your opponent's queen. Let's see, and this one also under attack. If I push this one, queen back, if you want to do the exchange, king can move into here, take, I got a pawn chain. Bishop retreat, king e1, rook gets to here, king moving to the center. Do a comparison. Which one is better? White side, I got one more pawn compared to black, and I got a bishop pair, and you have two rocks, but the king is blocked by one of the rocks, and white king is in the center. And in this kind of position, bishop pair is much better than two rocks. Okay, let's get back to the original game now. After h4, f5 is played. Next move should have been take that one, eliminate the passing pawn. But in the actual game, bishop took the knight, and the cd is played. Now you still have chance to moving to here and trying to get in here. But in actual game, white played as queen c5, targeting a7. Think about it. If this is a really threat. Okay, next move, f4 is played. If you take that one, let's see. If I take that one, I push forward, rook gets to here, you're losing bishop. Or otherwise, if I move this move, you retreat, I push forward, you take, I will take this one, I'll go here, and game is over. So queen cannot take this a7. Instead, rook f2 is played, leaving the room for the bishop. Now b6. Actually, you can think to move queen to here, try to do some exchange in here. But in the actual game, white played as a queen b4, trying to control those right squares on this diagonal, because both sides realize these four squares is really important. For example, if I do my bishop to here, you take, I take, the queen can easily get into the center. Rook is to here, you're losing the pawn. So queen has to station here firmly. Instead, f3 is played, and bishop retreat to f1, opening two arms, and bishop retreat to h5. Prepare for queen check, and also rook is to g file. Now king move back to h1. Think about it. Can you still do queen gets to g4? Let's try. If I move the queen to here, what white gonna do? Queen can land it here. And if you move the h6, I can take this one free pawn. So not really good for the black side because you free your opponent's most powerful piece at this stage. So in the actual game, rook is to f6. Do you make this queen stay put in here? So rook is to here, prepare to control this half open file. h3, blocking the queen from moving to those squares. Now rook is to c8, try to control this open file, queen moving back, tackling this open file. And now rook g6, try to control this half open file. Rook c1, rook f8. See if there any possibility I can push my pawn forward. And queen gets to b4. And now h6 is safely played, very calm. What about if you move the rook to here? The problem is I can doubling my rook. Once the rook landed here, queen has nowhere to go. You can see those right squares. She can't get to any of these squares. Very dangerous situation for the black side. So he played as a h6, and the rook is doubling in the c file. Prior to landed in c7 and queen targeting e7. No rush. If you leave the room for me, thank you. I push my pawn forward, threatening the check. Rook c7, check, king h2, take that one. You can do this one, but you're gonna lose the queen. I'm winning. And in the actual game, rook took the queen. I'll take a u rook. Nothing can prevent this pawn from queening. So next move, rook is to d6, which is the last move. White resigned. What a beautiful game. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.